MB Enclosures has his own YouTube channel, and this guy is an animal when it comes to designing boxes.
Unbelievable. I couldn't even believe that there was 2 8s in there.
This guy right here is doing something special.
I welcome y'all to MBE. What you about to see, box building in a different league. In this SQL scene, believe that money ain't a thing when it comes to its kings. Now that's fact, not fiction. Call 44694 48 then 18. Don't matter, you got 4 8s or 1 8 or anything between. He got what you need.
This is my crew. This is my gang. These are my kings.
Now the setting of this BSI, it's kind of tricky. You're going to have to play with it really, because you got to know your electrical, you got to know what power you're running, you got to know the sub size you're running, and what do you want to get out of it? How low do you want to go? Now, the BSI also doubles as a line output driver because you can control your gain here. You match your gain here, you turn your gain completely down on your amplifier. This is what you use to match this device to the input source signal, and it's going to send out the RCAs to your amp. All the settings on your amplifier need to be turned off. The crossover settings as far as the low pass, because this is what you're controlling with this device, leave that wide open. Leave that gate wide open on the amp. Control it here on the device. The subsonic, control that here on this device. Leave that wide open on your turn it to its lowest possible setting on your amplifier as well. Lowest possible setting that you can turn the LPF, that's where you need to turn that to on the amp. The gain will be controlled here. The crossover, the low pass filter, what frequencies, whether it's 80, 150 and under, 100 and under, 80 and under, all that need to be controlled from the device. That's the purpose of it. Takes that work off your amplifier. Now setting these 2 features right here, these 3 features, the effect, the width, and the frequency. The frequency is what you want to look at. Okay, if you want to, as you can see here, I don't know if it shows you that, it says 30 hertz to 80 hertz. So that's 50 frequencies that you can look at and cut down half an octave. So if you set it right here to 30 hertz, whereas mine is set it, don't look at the going that way, it's set it 30 hertz, which means it's looking at 60 hertz. Songs that's playing at 60 is going to cut it down to 30. Songs, let's say you had it set at 80 hertz. Then songs that playing bass at 150 or 140 or 130 or 160 particularly, that frequency will be cut down to 80. So here I'm asking my device, find me the frequencies at 30 hertz. Why? Because most of my boxes are tuned to 33. So this is exactly why this is why the frequency I wanted to look at. Play songs that, any song that has a 60 hertz tone, cut it in half and play it at 30. Now, the width is how wide to the left or the right of that 60 do I want to be brought up as well. Kind of like a tent. So if it's looking at 60 and my width, which is where you see right here, is about at 9 o'clock, I'm pretty much focusing at 60, maybe 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. That's how wide the frequency is as well, besides the 60 that I want you to cut in half as well. And then this is the effect. This lets me control just how much of a boost that I want to give. Now I believe it goes all the way up to 18 dB, from 6 to 18 dB. This is going to be dependent totally on what size driver you're using. Too much of this, your drivers get too much information, you extend them. I think with 8s, particularly with the Super 8s, somewhere around the 9 and 10 o'clock position is great. But the larger your subwoofer, the more the effect you can add. The larger your subwoofer, the more of the effect you can add. This knob is totally dependent on what size drivers you're using. If I was to turn this all the way to max and then use it, I'd probably send too much information to the 8s and blow them. So in conclusion, this is the frequency you want to hone in on. You want to hone on the 30 hertz, you turn it 30 hertz, it's going to look at songs that play 60 and it's going to cut it down to 30. As you turn this knob, each frequency you get is going to cut it down an octave. The width is how far below and beneath where you have it set at that you want to bring up as well. So even though I have it set to look at frequencies at 60 hertz and cut it down to 30, it's also looking at 55, 56. Well, now with my setting here, probably about 58, 59, 60, 61, 62 as well. And bring them down as well. So you give you a little bit more control over your total bass harmonics. Now, I hope this is a good starting point. As I say, you're going to have to play with it. You're going to have to play with it. You're going to turn all the features on your amp off. You set your gain here. The gain on your amp is turned all the way down. You set your subsonic here. The subsonic on your amp is actually turned completely off. The low pass on your amp is wide open because you're controlling the frequency to come down from this device. And then these three devices, frequencies right here is what you're going to play with to get what sounds best in your system. I hope this is a quick tutorial and helps you understand how to set the BSI. Remember, this knob is going to be totally dependent on the size of the drivers. Don't you give yourself too much effect and you got an 8 or a 6.5. Be blessed.